This is Barry Zalma speaking for Claim School Incorporated's blog, Zalma on Insurance. Today we're going to speak about why a late claim cost a plaintiff because of the death of the defendant and statutes that limit the recovery of damages to the insurance policy limits unless a timely claim is made to the estate of the decedent. In Maryland, to facilitate the prompt settlement of decedents' estates, a person must present a claim against an estate within 6 months after the decedent's death, or 2 months after the personal representative mails or delivers proper notice of the need to file a claim, within 2 months, whichever comes first. This is Maryland Code Section 8-103, parentheses A, close parentheses, of the Estates and Trusts article. In general, if a claimant fails to meet those statutory deadlines, the claim is forever barred. In Nicholas Shanefelter versus James Edward Hood, Jr., a Court of Appeals of Maryland decision dated January 4, 2023, the Court of Appeals resolved the dispute by recognizing that if the decedent had insurance coverage for the claimant need not present a timely claim against the estate as long as the claimant files suit against the estate before the applicable statute of limitations is run. In that event, a judgment against the estate is not limited to the amount of insurance coverage, but the amount of the judgment that is recoverable from the estate is limited to the amount of the policy. You can get a big judgment, but you can only collect whatever the policy limits are. In essence, the case becomes an action against the insurance policy. On December 1, 2018, Shanefelter was involved in an automobile accident with the late Mr. Hood. At the time of the accident, State Farm Mutual Automobile Insurance Company insured the car that Hood was driving. Hood died on August 4, 2019, of causes unrelated to the accident. On September 30, 2019, Hood's wife opened an estate on his behalf with the Register of Wills for Anne Arundel County. On February 20, 2020, Shanefelter filed suit against Hood in the Circuit Court for Anne Arundel County, and on March 6, 2020, 7 months after Hood's death, Shanefelter filed a claim against Hood's estate with the Register of Wills. The claim was untimely. After a 2-day trial in October of 2021, a jury returned a verdict in favor of Shanefelter and against the estate in the amount of $285,977.69. 1 week after the verdict, the estate filed a motion and asked the court to limit the amount of the judgment that was recoverable from the estate to the policy limits of $100,000. The motion did not expressly assert what the record already showed, that is, that Shanefelter had failed to present a timely claim. Shanefelter opposed the estate's motion, arguing that he had filed a claim against the estate as soon as he was made aware that the defendant had died and that decedent's insurer, State Farm, had failed to settle the case in good faith. Shanefelter did not argue that he had presented a timely claim. The Circuit Court granted the estate's motion in a written order that was docketed on December 3, 2021, and the order stated, in pertinent part, that the estate's liability is limited to the defendant's liability insurance policy of $100,000. In a written order, the judgment stated, in pertinent part, that the amount of the judgment that is recoverable from the estate is limited to the amount of the decedent's liability insurance policy in accordance with the statute. In its brief, the estate refuted Shanefelter's assertion that he had filed a timely claim within the deadlines dictated by the statute, citing the Register of Wills docket sheet for Shanefelter's claim, which it attached as an appendix to its brief. The estate demonstrated that Shanefelter did not file his claim until March 6, 2020, more than 7 months after Hood's death on August 4, 2019. The Court of Appeal concluded that Shanefelter's contentions had no merit. The tacit premise of the estate's motion to limit liability, understood by all, including the circuit court, was that Shanefelter had not presented a timely claim and was thus limited to the amount recoverable from the estate, to the limit of liability of the insurance policy. At most, he said only that he had filed a claim as soon as he knew of the descendant's death, which is insufficient to satisfy the requirements of the statute. Therefore, the trial court did not abuse its broad discretion in denying Shanefelter's revisory motion. Because the record includes a copy of the untimely claim that Shanefelter presented more than a month after the statutory deadline had already passed, it is beyond, according to the Court of Appeal, any serious dispute that Shanefelter failed to present a timely claim. Because of his failure to present a timely claim, Shanefelter could recover at most the policy limits. In my opinion, the Maryland statute is not unusual, since the estate was established before the suit was filed. The plaintiff and his lawyers should have known about the death of the defendant and complied with the requirements of the law. The case went to trial. Shanefelter received a favorable verdict, but because of the statute, he was limited to the limits of liability of the policy issued by State Farm. This video was adapted from my blog, Zelma on Insurance, which is available free to anyone who clicks on the URL zelma.com/blog. You can subscribe to the blog and you'll receive notice of every new blog posting, usually once every week, 5 days a week, sometimes 6 or 7. You can also subscribe to the videos at youtube.com or at rumble.com, and I'd appreciate it if you like the video to click on the like button and or the rumble button, depending on which video you view. And if you found this interesting, consider subscribing to my Substack publication and my locals community, where you can get special super information about insurance and insurance claims handling. Thank you for your attention.